Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing an Egyptian God card deck profiles. I'm really excited to show you guys this deck, because this deck can actually summon out Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra in the same deck, which is absolutely crazy awesome. So, without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards like your name in the description of every single video, getting a signed card to mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron along with test stands. So, without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing a single copy of Slifer the Sky Dragon, which is an awesome beast. So what this card actually does is it requires 3 tributes to normal summon this card. It cannot be normal set. And this card's normal summon cannot be negated. And when normal summon, cards and effects cannot be activated either. And then once per turn, during the end phase, if this card was special summoned, then you have to send it to the graveyard. And this card gains 1,000 attack and defense points for each card in your hand. And if a monster is normal or special summoned to your opponent's field in face-up attack position, that monster loses 2,000 attack. And then if its attack becomes 0 from this effect, it automatically destroys it, which is awesome. We then play a single copy of Obelisk the Tormentor. Obelisk Tormentor also requires 3 tributes and it cannot be normal set. This card's normal summon cannot be negated, and when normal summoned, or when this card is normal summoned, cards and effects cannot be activated. It cannot be targeted by any card effect, which is awesome. And then once per turn during the end phase, if this card is special summoned, you have to send it to the graveyard, but it has a really awesome effect that you can tribute to monsters to destroy all monsters your opponent controls, but it can't attack the turn you activate that effect. But it's still a really awesome card. We then play 2 copies of the Winged Dragon of Ra, because this is arguably the easiest one to actually summon because it has the most support. And this card is very, very easy to summon and can get really, really big. It cannot be special summoned and requires 3 tributes to normal summon this card. It can't be normal summon, or it cannot be normal set. This card's normal summon cannot be negated, and when normal summon, cards and effects cannot be activated. And when this card is normal summon, you can pay life points so that you only have 100 life points left. And this card gains attack equal to the amount you paid. It also has the ability you can pay 1,000 life points to target 1 monster on the field and destroy that card. So we're playing all 3 between Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra. We're then playing a single copy of Sphere Mode. Sphere Mode is really good because you contribute 3 of your opponent's monsters to put it on their side of the field, and then when you get it back, you can send it to the graveyard to special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, and if you do, its attack and defense become 4,000 right off the bat. So it's a really good one of in here because it's pretty easy to actually summon, and it's a great combo piece. We then play 3 copies of Guardian Slime. Guardian Slime is a great card for this deck as well, because if you take any battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand, and then during damage calculation, if this battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can make this card's defense equal to that opponent's monster's attack, so they totally stalemate where your opponent can't destroy this card by battle because they're the same as attack and defense. It also has the ability that you can make this card's defense the same, which is really cool during damage calculation only, so it does drop back down after that one battle. But if this card is sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you can add a spell or trap from your deck that specifically lists the Winged Dragon of Ra and its text, which is very, very good just to be able to grab any of your cards, because we have a lot of support cards in this deck that help out with that particular effect. We then play 3 copies of Angel 01. Angel 01 is really good too because it gives you additional normal summon, because you can special summon this card from your hand by revealing any level 7 or higher monster in your hand. And then also it has the ability that while you control this card, special summon card, you can tribute summon 1 level 7 or higher monster in attack position during your main phase, in addition to your normal summoner set. So it's very easy to actually get the materials on your side of the field to summon any of the 3 out. We then play 3 copies of Tellus the Little Angel. This card is very helpful in the deck too, because if this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 token to your side of the field, and then while you control a Tellus Wing token, you can manage this card from the graveyard and a spell from your hand to special summon out 2 more tokens to your side of the field, but you can't special summon for the rest of the turn except from your hand, which is not that big of a deal because a lot of times you're just trying to get the materials on the field to then go into your copies of Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra, and this basically gives you all 3 of those cards. We then play 3 copies of Reactor Slime to round out the monsters. The 3 copies of Reactor Slime are very helpful in this deck because the Reactor Slime has the ability that during your main phase, you can activate this effect to special summon out 2 slime tokens to your side of the field, Aqua, Water, level 1, 500 attack and 500 defense, and also you cannot normal summon or special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for Divine Beast monsters, but during the battle phase, quick effect, you contribute this card to set a Metal Reflex Slime from your hand, deck, or graveyard to your field, and it can be activated this turn. This card is very, very, very important to actually put on your side of the field. because it's just going to basically give you the ability to get a copy of Metal Reflect Slime, which then will let you go on to your copy of your Egyptian God Slime that can count as 3 tributes. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Foolish Burial. This card is very helpful to get cards that you need into your graveyard and just helps out the deck a lot. We play a single copy of Monster Reborn because it's going to help you revive out cards. This card's actually searchable in this deck through Millennium Revelations, which is really awesome. We play a single copy of Thunder Force Attack just to play it for Slifer. This card is very good because this card's activation cannot be negated. You can control a monster whose original name is Slifer the Sky Dragon, destroy as many face-up monsters your opponent controls as possible. Then, if you activated this card during the main phase, you can apply the following effect to draw cards equal to the number of monsters destroyed by this card's effect and sent to your opponent's graveyard. And also, you can only attack with 1 monster this turn. This card is a very good card if you summon out Slifer to just be able to go in for more plays and have a Slifer to just board wipe your opponent. We then play a single copy of Fist of Fate. This card is also very helpful because this card's activation cannot be negated. You control a monster whose original name is Obelisk the Tormentor, negate the effects of 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. And if you do, destroy it. And if you do that, for the rest of the turn, the effect of that monster is negated, as well as any monster effect that activates with the same original name as that monster. If you activate this card during your main phase, you can apply the effect to destroy all spells and traps your opponent controls, which is really awesome just to pop all the spells and traps. We then play a single copy of Blaze Cannon, which Blaze Cannon is awesome as well. These are basically all 3 of Slifer, Obelisk, and Raw's attack spells. And this card is very good because this card is also treated as a Blaze Accelerator card, and it has the ability that you have to control the Winged Dragon of Ra to activate this card, and it cannot be negated. And it also has a very, very awesome effect that it gives it all 3 of the following effects. Because basically what it does is it makes it that when the card is unaffected by your opponent's card effects, when it attacks, it declares an attack involving this card, you can tribute any other monsters that you currently control, then it gains attack equal to that monsters that you tributed for this effect. And then after damage calculation, this card attacked, you can send all monster your opponent controls to the graveyard, which is completely board wipes your opponent, which is awesome. We then play double Millennium Revelations. Millennium Revelations is really good because it helps you actually special summon out your copies of your Divine Beast monsters. Because you get to send a Divine Beast monster from your hand to the graveyard to add 1 Monster Reborn from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And you can send this face-up card to the graveyard. This turn, you can special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra from your graveyard with Monster Reborn, ignoring its summoning conditions. And then during the end phase of this turn, this effect was activated. You must send the Winged Dragon of Ra you control to the graveyard that was special summoned with Monster Reborn to the graveyard, which is okay, but you're just basically getting your monster out to your side of the field a little bit easier. We then play 3 copies of Soul Crossing. Soul Crossing is a awesome card because basically it turns your Egyptian gods into kaijus, which is very, very cool. Because during the main phase, if any of this card activates, you contribute summon 1 Divine Beast monster. When you do, you contribute monsters that your opponent controls, even though you do not control them. But if you tribute summon this way, apply the effect to until the end of the next turn. After this card resolves, you can only activate 1 more card effect besides the effect of a Divine Beast monster, which is still pretty good. Just be able to tribute your opponent's monsters to get more effects off, which is really, really helpful to get out one of your Divine Beast monsters, because tributing 3 monsters on your side of the field is not that bad in this deck, but getting rid of 3 of your opponent's monsters just to summon out one of them is very, very cool with this card. We then play 3 copies of Ancient Chant. Ancient Chant is very helpful in the deck as well because it lets you add the Winged Dragon of Ra from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And then if you do, you can tribute summon 1 monster from your or you can tribute summon 1 monster during your main phase this turn in addition to your normal summoner set. And you can banish this card from the graveyard, and if you tribute summon the Winged Dragon of Ra this turn, its original attack and defense become the combined original attack and defense of all the monsters you tributed to summon that monster, which is really helpful just to be able to get out a Winged Dragon of Ra that's already going to be bigger than 7,900. We then play 3 copies of Card Advance as well. Card Advance helps out because it lets you stack the deck. It lets you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and it also gives you an additional normal summon this turn, which helps out the deck a lot because sometimes you'll normal summon out the copy of Tellus the Little Angel, and you'll link it away for a copy of, say, like an Alamirage to get its effect off to give you the tokens, and then you'll banish it to get the 2 more tokens on your field, but you'll already have normal summon. So Card Advance kind of fixes that so you can get an additional normal summon as well to get out your copies of your Egyptian God cards. We then play 3 copies of the True Name to round round out the spells. This card lets you declare one card name, excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's the declared card, add it to your hand, and then you can add to your hand or special summon a divine monster from your deck. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard, and you only affect this card once per turn. The reason I'm playing this card is because it's really easy to combo with card advance, and if you don't use this card with card advance, you can still use it with Tell Us a Little Angel if you draw into multiple copies of it to be able to get rid of it, but it helps out a lot and goes kind of with the theme of the deck to be able to use this card with card advance to be able to grab your copies of your Egyptian gods, and it's a very easy way to get one of them out on the field. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing a single copy of the Ultimate Divine Beast. This card is really good because it lets you, when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you can discard a spell or trap to target a Divine Beast monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position, then change the attack target to it. And then during the end phase, if you control a Divine Beast monster, you can destroy all face-up cards your opponent controls that activated their effects on the field this turn. You can only affect this card once per turn. So basically, it's kind of like Call of the Haunted for one of your Egyptian gods, which is really awesome. We then play 3 copies of Metal Reflect Slime, because Metal Reflect Slime is really helpful to go into your copy of your Egyptian God Slime to be able to have all 3 tributes on the field and give you a really good boss monster as well. So that's it for the traps, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Egyptian God Slime. This card is very, very helpful in the deck. This card has some awesome effects, because basically it has the ability that it must either be fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by attributing a level 10 Aqua type monster with 0 attack, which you have your copies of your Guardian Slime, and you have your copies of your Metal Reflect Slime that you can actually go into this card very easily with. This card can be treated as 1 or 3 tributes for the tribute summon of a monster. It cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent cannot target for attacks or card effects with any monster you control except for this card. So basically it protects everything on your field except itself, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like in the anime how you actually use this card to protect himself. Merrick used it. We then play a single copy of Access Code because it gives us a bunch of pops. This card can be a borrow load if you want to go a little bit more budget, but the Access Code helps out a lot just to be able to pop cards. 1 copy of Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. This card is very good. You use a monster that's level 7 or higher, it gains 3 different effects that you can use when it destroys a monster by battle. That basically has the ability that it can gain 1500 attack. You can make a second attack during each battle phase, or you can manage a card on the field. But if you use a level 7 monster or higher monster to link summon this card, it can't be targeted with card effects, and also it can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects either, which is a really awesome effect just to be able to protect itself. Play a single copy of Unicorn to spin stuff, 1 copy of Phoenix to pop spells and traps, 1 copy of Pentastag, because Pentastag can help us out a lot to give us piercing damage, which helps out the deck a lot, especially with Ra doing piercing damage. 1 copy of IP Masquerena so we can link summon during our opponent's turn. 1 copy of Cross Sheet because you do play the Egyptian God Slime, so this card helps out a little bit to revive back some of your lower level monsters. 1 copy of Alamirage because you can normal summon out Tell Us the Little Angel and then immediately link it away for this card to give you the token, which is pretty good. 1 copy of Juggernaut Libby because Juggernaut Libby can help you OTK for like out of nowhere with 2 of your Egyptian gods, or a Guardian Slime and a Metal Reflect Slime. Just any 2 level 10 monsters will let you go into your copy of number 81, which then can get you into your Juggernaut Libby, or your Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max, or just Gustav Max for short, to be able to burn your opponent for 2,000, which can end games, or it can let you make your Juggernaut Levy by just immediately overlaying it on top. And then for the last card for the deck, we're going to be playing a single copy of number 35, Ravenous Tarantula, because the difference between your life points and your opponent's life points, your monsters gain its attack, which if you summon the Winged Dragon of Ra and then you have this card on the field, your life points are going to be significantly different from your opponent. So this card can actually make you gain a lot of attack points, which is really helpful. So that's it for the Egyptian God card deck profile, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really fun deck to play around with. I really love the way that the deck came out, and it's a really awesome deck to be able to summon all 3 of them in one deck. I really think that this deck is a fun deck to play around with, because you get to summon all 3 between Slifer, Obelisk, and Ra, which is just so cool to have all 3 of them in one deck. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can come part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next videos. See you later, guys.